no problem, with the constitutionality of these amendments that are advancing, and the amendments do indeed successfully get the 766,200 verified signatures that they need. They will be ready for the ballot, and I think they are funded enough to get there. So, but I think there will be opposition as well.
Now, keep in mind, a recent University of North Florida poll found wide majorities of Floridians, both Democrats and Republicans and independents, overwhelmingly support the legalization of marijuana here in the Sunshine State. So, where do you stand, Florida? What do you think about this? Give us a gook. How are you? Go ahead.
I'm wonderful. Thank you for the privilege. I have a
go ahead.
Experience. I was the counsel involved in a couple of different cases, one involving the gentleman who asserted the right to grow his own so that he could consume medical marijuana in the fashion deemed most optimal to him as a cancer survivor. And we prevailed in the lower court. Unfortunately, on appeal, they reversed that decision, even though Amendment 2 says that a qualified patient can possess a growing plant. The appellate court monkeyed around a little bit with the definition and said, well, we don't know how to keep it safe. How would we ever do that? So that is actually the subject of a petition to the Florida Supreme Court. But on the other hand, we also participated in the case where we've got an injunction against the Department of Health not processing applications. Since 2017, the Department of Health has been supposed to provide processes so people can file an application. There's not one medical marijuana treatment center operating in Florida that ever went through a proper application process because they've never adopted the procedures. And I think in our case, we have over 50 intervening entities to challenge the vertical integration, which the court found was unconstitutional because that's not what the amendment says. And what's troubling to the people in my camp are the fact that the folks that did get these licenses, either through settlements or legislative fiat, one of those sold for over $53 million, and it was the person that never planted one seed, never served one patient. So there's a big money variable to this that's very troubling. And quite honestly,
do you see it as a monopoly?
I see it as nothing other than a monopoly. And and just to look at the way the licensed facilities opposed our effort and donated to people in the House to intervene in our case to oppose our effort, it really took on a completely different dimension. I would note that when Amendment 2 passed in Florida by over 71%, there had never been anything in any other state in the country that embraced any issue involving marijuana by a greater percentage. And I would anticipate that should the Supreme Court approve this short description, and I concur with the Speaker that it is tough to get them to approve the way that a legislative act or a constitutional amendment is defined and described. But once that's done, I think that the citizens of the state of Florida will overwhelmingly approve this. And my concern is that, like what we've been dealing with for the past 3 years, the legislature will monkey around with this and prevent access to, certainly in this instance, with an important medical substance, and in the other context, a recreational substance that's been around for thousands of years.
And he represented a patient in the state named Joe Redner who wanted the right to grow his own medical marijuana. Cynics watching your petition effort, it looks great. You're pushing for legalization, but they see it, I think, as a backdoor way to preserve what they're criticizing as a monopoly on the small number of growers and purveyors of cannabis in Florida. How do you respond to that accusation?